Hi friends! Last week I recorded a video about Pokémon Legends Z-A and how I think we're getting Mega Evolutions because they teased it and I had some ideas. I covered my ideas from Gens 1 to 4 and today we're doing Gens 5 through 9. We're getting through the rest of my ideas. I've got 3 for each generation and it's time to get into it. And I'm overheating, so if you can tell I'm sweating, no you can't. Starting off strong, we're going with Vanillux, as I've so lovingly named her. I know it's Vanillux, like vanilla ice cream, but she's Vanillux in my drag fantasy. And Mega Vanillux is gonna be an ice fairy type, because a lot of foodie Pokemon are fairy type. Think Slurpuff, Alchemy, there's some other ones. But I think the fairy type could suit Vanillux so well, and here's the vision. It's simple. Banana split. They could do the whole cherry on top moment. You could have 3 heads instead of 2 heads, like 3 dollops of ice cream in this banana boat split moment. And she's fairy type. I think it would hit. And I think the fairy type also lends itself to this because then you're getting like fruits and sprinkles and other pizzazz, whereas she's not just ice, you know? So I think that would also validate that fairy typing. Next up, we've got Gothitelle, and I'm giving her dark type, psychic gothic fantasy. She deserves it. She deserves her dark gothic moment. And this one's really simple. I think we go like Mega Gardevoir and just give her the full gown. And here's a picture of a black wedding dress. Because this is all you need for reference. Full gown. They could do her hair in like an updo or like let it loose, you know? There's so many options, but I just want the full gothic Morticia fantasy. I think that would hit. And last but not least for Unova, we've got my child Reuniclus, and this is my child. I'll have you know, I did birth this myself. That's me. And Reuniclus is going to become a psychic fighting type, which is like a little bit silly goofy. However, she got the arms. When she evolves, she literally gets a physical fighting move. And she can't, like, she can technically use it, but should she? No. And she gets access to all the punching moves. So I think we get a psychic fighting Reuniclus, who's based off of non-Newtonian fluid, like Oobleck, that stuff that's liquid when you like touch it, but then if you hit it, it's solid. And I think she gets some sort of ability that makes like her punching moves or her physical moves do more damage. Because if she hits something strong enough, it hurt. It's solid as opposed to squishy fluid. You know what I mean? I think we're probably gonna get megas of the starters, but these are 3 that like, I think is more fun. First up, we've got gorgeous like Florges. And I've given her the grass typing that she dreamed of. I understand the flowers are not a part of her body and she's like decorating herself because she's like a nymph. She's a fairy. However, she loves the plants and she wants to be one of the plants. And so when she mega evolves, she becomes one of the plants. And once again, this can be a full Mega Gardevoir fantasy. However, you know what color of flower there isn't on Florges? Purple. Purple wisteria tree Florges. She become the tree. Her flowers already kind of drape like how wisteria falls, how it grows down and like little, you know? So this is the vision. She has trunk body and huge tree hair of wisteria flowers. Here's another picture of a wisteria tree. This one's a little smaller, just to give you more idea of a shape. So it's not just a picture of a bunch of flowers hanging down. I also just really love wisteria. So this is very selfish because we keep trying to grow it where I live and it don't want to. It don't want to. Next up, we've got Aromatisse. And I know everyone thinks Aromatisse should just have like a regional form or an evolution, but I'm talking about Mega Evolutions and I want to talk about Aromatisse. So here she is. I've made her a fairy poison type. I was very torn between fairy dark and fairy poison because we all know she's based off of a plague doctor. You know what I mean? We know this. We've been known, and we're all like, we didn't get a cool Plague Doctor Pokemon. This is her moment, though. The reason why I've leaned into Poison over Dark is because Dark gives me more Grim Reaper, and I guess Ghost would give you that too. But the Poison, you're a Plague Doctor. You're dealing with the Plague. I feel like the Plague is gonna lean in to the poison typing. So in this fantasy, maybe she has the Plague. Is that too dark? I don't know. But you know what I mean? I think full Plague Doctor, but she's poison type. Do I need to say more? I don't think I want to. I think you understand. Last but not least, I didn't do Slurpuff. You know that I've been doing the duos? We aren't doing that this time. Slurpuff should get one if Aromatisse is getting one, but I want to talk about Aegislash. Aegislash certainly does not need a Mega Evolution because they are still really cool. However, I have a vision for one and I would like to talk about it. It remains a steel ghost type. That's not changing. I'm not taking their type rights away. It's all okay. Here's the vision though. Haunted suit of armor. Full haunted suit of armor. You've got the sword, you've got the shield, now you've got the armor. And think the Phantom Zelda form, or just the Phantoms from Zelda. There's Phantom Zelda there, where they've got the big sword, they've got the shield, and they're like, do, 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 and they can do things. That's the vision. Make that a Pokemon. Take Link out of there though. I think this form would need some sort of new ability that I haven't really conceptualized. I mean, it could still have a defensive and an attacking mode, but I think because it's a whole body now, it doesn't fully make sense to lean into that gimmick. I think it can have a different gimmick, and if you have any ideas for that, let me know, please and thank you. First up, we've got Serena, and she is now a grass fighting type. I did this for the girls, gays, and theys. We deserve it, and here she is. And I'm not gonna get into too much detail with the slides on this one. I just want her to get the Megalopony treatment. You know what I mean? She got the stompy legs, so I think they should go into that. They could also absolutely lean into the Queenly Majesty thing and maybe make her a grass fairy type, but right now, the sources say that she maybe has some dominatrix inspiration, and I think they could lean into that without going too far because it is a family-friendly game. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Next up, we have Palisand, and I've actually turned Palisand into a ghost rock type. We're no longer a sand castle, now we're a rock castle. And here is the Palisand vision. So Mega Palisand is gonna be a full fortified stone castle. Maybe they get turrets, who knows? I just took a random stone castle that was kind of similar in color scheme for Palisand's Mega Inspo PowerPoint slide. But I think its defense stats could be boosted up the wazoo for its Mega Evolution. And maybe it gets a special ability to do with its defenses. Maybe it has defensive walls that get busted down, kind of like a Mimikyu situation, but that might be overpowered. Who knows? I don't know. I don't play competitive that much. Last but not least, for Gen 7, we're gonna talk about Komala, who honestly I think deserves the Audino getting a Mega treatment. It's just regularly a normal type. I've given it a normal psychic type, and here is the vision for Mega Komala. The vision is it wake up. It wake up, and it gets superpower like Jirachi, because when it's asleep, it's strong enough, but when it wake up, it has access to its full potential. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that's all I have to say on that. First up, we've got Eldegoss, and this one might be an eensy beensy morbid, but I've made her a grass ghost type. She gives grandma. And what's the next stage of life? Afterlife. Dandelions have a very clear visual life cycle, and Eldegoss is clearly at the end of it because she's got the puffs. So I think the next vision for her is to be the seeds have flown away, and here she is. And I don't think it has to be like a sad, scary ghost thing. I think she can be happy. It's moving on to the next stage of her life. It can lean into like guardians, you know? Ancestors looking down on you. There's a bunch of things they could do with it. And I think just a grass ghost type for her would be interesting. And I think it's the obvious next step in her journey. The other option is make her bigger. Next up for Galar, we're gonna talk about Stonjourner, who I have made a rock psychic type. We all know that Stonjourner is based off of Stonehenge and the Standing Stones and all those. Easy to tell. And there's been a lot of like theories around the creation of Stonehenge. It's basically proven now though that it's a solar calendar. And so the solstices line up with it if you're standing in the right spot kind of thing. That's a thing. There's live streams on YouTube where you can watch the solstice at Stonehenge going on. It's cool. We know that psychic type is often associated with the cosmic world, like Behem, Starmie, Solrock, Lunatone. So I think we could give Stonjourner the cosmic psychic typing here. Last up for Galar is Frostmoth. And here's the thing. I feel like in my brain, Frostmoth and Sizzlipede are kind of like a fire-ice duo in this region, but Sizzlipede got a Gmax and Frostmoth didn't, and I think that's not fair. So this is once again, give her the whole butterfly moth fantasy with the wings, but honestly, just incorporate the Aurora Borealis in there. I think that's an easy way to go. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It can be simple. But give it to us. She deserves it. She deserves the love that she did not get in Sword and Shield. First up, I've got Darkspun, and she is getting the fire typing that we know she wants. Her ability right now makes her immune to fire type attacks, so the next progression that's obvious would be to give her the fire typing in a mega evolution. And I don't want her to be burnt bread. I think that's too much, but I think they lean into like croissant baguette, you know, there's all the things. And I think this is also really thematic with it taking place in Kalos, which is based in Paris. Well, it's based on France, but we're in Lumio City, which is based on Paris. So, you know, put the Parisian bakery in here, but it's Darkspun. I also think maybe they give a buff to her ability. Not that her ability is bad, but I think they could do a thing where maybe she burns if she uses physical moves on people. There's a 10% chance that she burns all of her opponents. I don't know. Something like that. Next up, Scovillain. And a lot of people think Scovillain is kind of an incomplete Pokemon. I like them. We were all excited to have a fire grass type. I'm so sorry to say I've removed their grass typing, but they are now a fire ghost type. And you all know where this is going. Ghost Pepper. Now, Ghost Peppers, maybe thematically, might not be the pepper for France, might not be the pepper for Kalos. However, it felt wrong to not go into the Ghost Pepper idea. I looked up peppers that were like spicy peppers related to France, and they weren't that exciting. So we're doing Ghost Pepper, and maybe this is a mega evolution for something else, but I know everyone was into a Ghost Pepper idea, so I'm bringing attention to it. Last but not least, this is the final mega evolution I'm going to talk about right now, and we're doing Titan, and I'm going to give Titan the water typing on top of their ice typing. And those who know where this is going, you know where this is going. It's going to the evolution of whales and how they were quadrupedal animals, and then they were in the Wawa, and then they slowly lost their limbs over time and they became water mammals. And I have whale tattoos, so this is fully selfish. I want a whale Titan. I need it. I think it'd be cute. And I'd like it. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, I hate doing this part because it feels so awkward, but if you want to leave a like or subscribe if you really liked it, I'm trying new things out. This was fun for me, so. Also, if you want to comment down below if you'd use any of these Mega Pokemon or what Mega Pokemon you'd like to see, I would love to know. So please share, and I was gonna say not the video, but you can share the video if you want, but please share your ideas and your desires. I want to hear them. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Bye, friends. I muted myself instead of ending the recording, y'all.